Are we good? Hi everybody! It is Winston with PerfecPress HTV. Today we're going to be doing a layering extravaganza. We're going to be doing two different shirts. First one, I'm going to start with a pre-made file that I'm going to make available after today, so you can download if you want, where we're going to be layering that one just to show the basic concept of layering. And then the second shirt we're going to do today, we're going to start from absolutely ground zero, and we're going to build the file together and layer it together. And we're going to do the same way that we layer our shirts that we display here in store. We get questioned all the time, how do you do all these crazy layered shirts? I'm going to show you my technique and how I do that, how I can make shirts with almost any image and make really easy multi-layered cool designs. But first, let's start with this design. So I'm going to go to the computer. I have this file pre-made. Again, I'm going to offer this file for a free download this afternoon. So check that out. If you want to be able to follow along and do the same, it'll be available again this afternoon for a free download off the YouTube video version. There's going to be a link embedded in there so you guys can download it. But I'm going to grab my file. For fun, the file I did was one called was an image of 7-layer dip to show all the layers we're about to do. So I'm pulling that in. So here's my 7-layer dip image. And in this image, before we begin, let's count the number of layers that we think are going to be there. We have a green layer for the chives, but we also have a green layer of guacamole in this dip. We have the black layer for the bowl and the olives. We have this yellow, I'll say cheese layer that has some darker cheese bits in it. We have a red layer. We have the brown and some darker brown bits. So altogether that is 1, 2, there's a white layer too, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers it looks like altogether, y'all. So because this is an EPS file, and meaning that it's a file that holds a lot of information, the EPS. In the world of cutters, on the craft cutter side, they use SVG files, which is an internet-based EPS file. Basically, an SVG pulls information from the internet and it within the file to create the image. An EPS will hold all that information in one file. A SVG is superior to EPS. I think the camera went off. You just gotta hit that button. EPS files are the more common file type you'll find in the more professional side of vinyl cutting. Not necessarily the only file type out there, but it's the more common file type. And most vinyl cutting programs can operate using EPS files. So this is an EPS file that we had created earlier in Illustrator. And later today, when we go on and do our second shirt, I'm going to show you how to do that from scratch. But just for beginning, we're going to start with this shirt. Cool thing about Graphtec software is Graphtec software will automatically separate these layers for me if it's made as an EPS file. Meaning if I send it to cut, up here in the corner will be all my layers already able to come apart. Makes it incredibly easy to layer a shirt. What I am going to do though beforehand is make sure all my sizing makes sense. So before I even send it to cut, I want to size it out here in Design Central, this box right here. So 14 inches is very large for a t-shirt. Most men's t-shirts at most on a 2XL is 11.5 across. Now, that's just a number to kind of give you a basic guide. There's always exceptions. You might want a shirt that's really bold and big. You might go to 14 across. Or you might want something that's a little bit more subtle and small. It's all up to you. But a good rule of thumb is 11 inches at a 2X and take a ½ inch down every size you go down. And then add full inches every size you go up from 2X. When you get into those 3X, 4X, 5X, the jumps are a lot larger than it is from large XL and 2XL. So let's size this. I want to size this for probably a size medium shirt. So I'm going to do 8.5. So we size that 8.5 inches. And now I'm going to send it to cut. And if you notice, it has all my layers already separated, like I said, which is great for us. I don't know why it has that blue layer. I don't think there's any blue in there. But that's not a big deal. We'll just start from this beginning. So we have this white layer, which is our sour cream. And I have all these beautiful PerfecPress vinyls. So we're going to start with PerfecPress white. The classic PerfecPress Soft. People love this vinyl. We're going to take it over to our Graphtec, which is over here. Can y'all see me? Great. And we're going to hit the sheet control. This is going to tell our Graphtec to read the size of our material that we've placed in. And now I don't need to adjust its settings mainly because it's already set. But on a Graphtec, a force of 12 or 11 works on PerfecPress Soft very well. Speed can kind of vary all over the place depending on what your design is. Good rule of thumb though is if the design is really small, slow down your cutter. If it's really big and simple, you can speed that thing up all the way. So right now we have our speed set to 40 and our force to 12, and I'm going to hit send. I am making sure that it is reversed. In the Graphtec software, that's this little F down here. I'm making sure it's still sized at 100%, and we're going to hit send for our first layer. And it's cutting, y'all. Any comments, questions, or concerns while I start? That needs to change. All right, y'all. So there's the first layer. Now I'm going to grab our second layer, which we're going to cut is the black layer here. Again, PerfecPress Soft Black, our best seller. $3.50 for a 12 by 20 sheet. How much is a roll, Ale? So 12 by 15 is $28. Really great deal. Probably one of the best bang for the buck vinyls in the industry. I want to send this layer. While that sends, I want to start weeding out this white layer. Woo! Hi. Can y'all see what I'm doing? No? Oops. So I started to weed it the wrong way because I was supposed to leave this part back. So I'm going to have to recut this layer. I did it backwards. The fun of doing things live, y'all. Well, my black layer is done, and we'll stick this white one back in and fix that. So we're setting this one to cut. So I'm just going to scoot this down a little bit and click the origin button to reset where it starts at. I'm going to send that layer one more time. The way I messed up here is that the weed box was a little bit too close to it, so I want to expand out the weed box like so. There y'all go. And then hit send. It's always a little tricky in the Graphtec software to cut white layers, I find, because sometimes it's hard to see in the Graphtec software. So I'm weeding out that black layer. I'm using the wooden weeding tool. Do we have these back in stock or no? They're still out. Eventually these will come back in stock, hopefully. The manufacturer discontinued them. But we're trying to find a good replacement or convince the manufacturer to undiscontinue them. Because to me, this is the best weeding tool on the market, by far. But again, that is also a preference thing. Some people like different things for various reasons. So I'm peeling out the little holes of these olives. Getting my first layer of the 7-layer dip shirt. Boom. There's the first layer, y'all. And now we got that new white. Hopefully it's cut better. Now I gotta remind myself, I am not to peel out the thick part. Much better this time, y'all. And PerfecPress weeds so dang easy compared to other vinyls. Like, it really is the easiest weeding vinyl, despite there's others named that. It really does weed so nice. And I want to just cut this out already, so I don't get confused which one is which. Put it over here. And the remaining of this will find its way to a scrap bag sometime soon. So our next layer, y'all, is going to be this green layer. So I'm going to mix things up a little bit. Instead of using PerfecPress Soft for the green layer, I'm going to use PerfecPress Soft Stretch Foil or Metallic Foil. This is a stretch vinyl. It can be layered, but it usually has to be your final layer. Or in a knockout style layering. And what we're doing today is actually a knockout style layer, so that will work just fine with this vinyl. So I'm going to cut this for our green layers. Placing it in. And before I hit send on the computer, I want to make sure it is set at job size 100%. And then I hit send. And it's cutting. While that sends, I want to cut out our black layer. I'm going to peel that out. Yeah. Now I have this white layer, so the white layer I can tell had some line up with these, so I'm going to just try to get that lined up to get pre-started. So I like to put together my stuff like this beforehand to kind of give myself a visual representation before I press it. So my green layer is done. Peel out the excess on this one. And again, this should all fit together kind of like a puzzle. Weed's incredibly easy. And this cuts at the exact same setting as PerfecPress Soft. So again, I'm going to cut this out just so I can connect them. To a scrap bag nearest you soon. All right, so here's our next layer, the green one. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of line it up. It should fit right in place like a puzzle. Oh no! Let's do it this way. There it goes. When you have it lined up, it just falls right in place. It looks real nice. Again, I'm going to take the white, our good old sour cream layer of our 7-layer dip. Y'all, I tried to make 7-layer dip last night for this, and I didn't have any of the ingredients, so it was too late to go to the grocery store, so I felt very sad. Allie's shaking her head. She's just like, this guy's crazy. Okay, so we're going to do our first yellow layer. So I think we're going to go with, got two different yellows. We got the athletic yellow or the yellow. So for that cheese layer of that image, it had like chunks in it. So should the chunks be the darker yellow and this just be the layer yellow? You think so? Okay, I'm going to go with this. We're going to start with this one. Yep, that's what the layer this is. So here we go, y'all. We're going to load it in. lock and loaded. We don't need to change any settings. We'll cut the same settings as other thing. We're just going to hit send. Cutting. The next one's this other layer of yellow. So we'll get it ready. I'm going to expand out the weed border on this one just to make it a little easier on us. That's a common trick I do, y'all. Now, in a craft cutter, they don't automatically put weed borders around things. I highly recommend, if you use Cricut or Cameo, when you make a design, put a square around it. It makes it so much easier to peel out when you do so. Any comments, questions, or anything, anybody? Do we have viewers? Hey, viewers! If you have any questions or suggestions, I am happy to answer them. I'm just peeling out this last layer. I'm popping out where our little cheese parts are going to be. And if vinyl's hard to see, I find putting it at a tight angle like this and kind of rolling it makes it easier to see where your cut lines are. I know for white vinyl and some of the light colors, it can be kind of hard to see. I've been told by folks they powder baby powder on their vinyl to make the cut lines more visible if they're having a hard time seeing. Only thing I would say about that is it might be hard to get off your liner because the liner's sticky. So I don't know if that's always the best option. I also had a lady once tell me she uses her foundation to sprinkles it on the vinyl. That seems even worse than baby powder. I feel like that would make it quite a bit of a mess. But do what works best for you. You know? If you think it'll work, go for it. There's no right or wrong except when you do something really wrong. Folks, I've seen it all. I've seen people do some very strange things with vinyl. Where you're just like, oh, that's interesting. I've never seen someone heat press a cat before. Did I not hit send? I don't think I hit send, everybody. Let me redo that. The fun of doing it live. Again, this is a 7-layer dip t-shirt. So show off all these layers. There it goes. So our next layer is going to be one of our brown layers. So I'm going to use the lighter brown for that one. All right. So it looks like the yellow cut right. Now let's do our brown. Next week's April Fool's Day, so that's going to be real fun. Look out for a my yearly April Fool's prank. That should be posted, I think, next Thursday, or is it Thursday's April Fool's Day, I think? Yeah, so keep a lookout for that. If you see something that seems a little out of normal as a new product being advertised, check the date. I have fun doing that every year. All right, so for this layer, it cut a little thin line right here. I don't think that's going to be really missed or needed in our design, so I'm going to just peel that out. And that came from probably tracing it, and it just picked up a small little artifact or something. So we're just going to get rid of that. No need for it. And we're going to trim out this cheese layer. And we're going to just place it in like a puzzle where it's needed. Sometimes it's easier starting that kind of center area. Doesn't move as much. That's what we got so far, y'all. How's it looking? Good? Yeah. So brown layer, did I send that to cut? I sure did. So we're going to weed that one while we send another layer. So we're going to send the red layer. Again, to mix things up, I'm going to use PerfecPress glitter vinyl for a red layer. So this vinyl, I am going to have to change my settings on. So for all the vinyls we've been doing so far have been single cut, force of 12. Glitter is a thicker vinyl. So you can send it with a higher pressure, but I like to think of glitter as a vinyl where, imagine you're in the woods with a machete, right? And you have a friend in front of you who's cutting through the woods with his machete. And the path is okay, but it's still kind of rough and rigid. Then you're behind your friend with a second pass-through of a machete, and you're making the trail that once was there but kind of rugged, a lot more comfortable and easy to peel out. That's the idea of double pass cutting. So for glitter, I find that it cuts magnificently when you send it twice. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to set our force to 16 on the Graphtec. And we're going to go into this control third panel over in our cut menu. On the bottom where it says passes, we're going to set that to 2. I want to make this weed border a little bigger. And we're going to send it, y'all. While that cuts, we will peel out our brown layer here. Looks like our glitter layer is already done. So I'm just trying to get our little, I guess, bean spots? That's what we'll call it, bean spots. We're peeling those parts out. Sweet bean spots. Bean spots are now peeled out, weeded out. I was working with someone new in this whole world recently this week, and I used the term weeding for peeling out. And her face got really confused when I said, "You want to weed out this vinyl?" She was like, "You want to do what?" And I was like, "Weed it out." She did not know it meant peeling, and I should have told her that first. She was deeply confused by me. The joys of being new to this world. Guys, look how it's coming along. We got some 7-layer dip. So here's our red layer. Peel out. And cut him out. Boom. So we're going to take our red layer, put it in, Y'all, we're almost done with this first one. Oop, there it goes. The red's not as sticky, so it's not holding itself down, but you'll see. Now we just need that last darker brown layer for our shoes. We do got to do a few adjustments though, because we switched it for double pass that last time. We want to set it back to single pass. Again, I like to make this weed border a little bigger. Just makes it easier to peel out. The only problem about Graphtec, sometimes it likes to set that a little bit close. We're going to pop this in, and we're going to change the force from 16 back to 12. While it sets up, force 12, and we're going to hit send. My computer's touchscreen. It's fun like that. So while that cuts, we have our heat press right here. It's set to 305 degrees. And we're going to be pressing it with a semi-firm medium pressure, nothing crazy. In each layer, we're going to do about 10 seconds per layer. So let me peel out this final brown layer, and then we'll get started with pressing this. Our brown layer is done. And you don't have to line up all your layers beforehand. I do it so I can visually see and make sure everything makes sense before I put it on a shirt. So y'all, here's my 7-layer dip with 8 different layers of vinyl. So we're going to now put this on the t-shirt. So I'm going to grab, what color shirt should we do on this one, red or white? White? Whoa. Red? Okay. So we got a red t-shirt. This is a Gildan Performance 100% polyester, size small. So it's a polyester shirt. That's not a problem. PerfecPress vinyls will work on any common t-shirt fabric type. A polyester or cotton doesn't make a difference. Why are you laughing, Miss Alley? Oh. Allie said it looked like I was about to fall.
Somebody asked any discounts for this week?
Any discounts for this week? No. I wish.
Somebody said happy dancing. Happy dance.
Yay, happy dance. So I'm just making sure this is all nice and flat. I want to give it a pre-press. Just to kind of make sure all the moisture's out, all the wrinkles are out, so press is smooth. Don't have to do very long, only about 5 to 7 seconds. That looks pretty good, y'all. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this apart, but we're going to layer it where the metallic and the glitter are our last layers, because the metallic is a little bit more heat sensitive, and the glitter's thicker, so thickest you want to always press last if you can. And for this design, it would probably be easiest to work off the bowl. So we're going to start with our black layer. You're going to use your hand. If you have a small hand, use 4 fingers. If you're a larger person like I am, use 3 fingers. If you're a really large person like Shaq, use 2 fingers. From the collar will get you perfect chest height. Like so. And because we're going to be doing multi-layers, PerfecPress Soft will release after just 8 seconds. You don't have to do a full 15 if you're doing multiple layers, because you're going to be pressing it over and over again. It's going to get a good hold. You do want to make sure it's at least 300 degrees and at least 8 seconds for it to release. Ooh, let's make sure it's nice and straight. There we go. So we're going to count. So that's our first layer. PerfectPress Soft is a hot peel, so I should be able to just peel it right away like so. And does everyone see that? Can you see that? Do I need to hold it up? No, y'all good? Sweet. All right, so our next layer we're going to do, so let's do that white layer. And again, that one falls in like a puzzle. We just got to figure out where is that perfect spot. Just notice the part wasn't weeded, so we're going to get that real quick. It's always good to re-look things over. You'll be shocked what sometimes you miss. All right, I got it pretty nicely on there. Everything looks like it's lining up. Real nice. Because I have vinyl exposed, I'm going to cover it. You have two cover options. You have, sorry, I'm grabbing it off camera, but when you have exposed vinyl, your two options are silicone or parchment paper or butcher paper or Teflon. I find I prefer silicone or parchment paper over Teflon, mainly because Teflon, if you press too hard with too much pressure, can leave the texture of the Teflon in your vinyl. And I've seen people on Facebook and some of the craft groups incorrectly say seeing the texture of Teflon in your vinyl is ideal. That is not. This also tends to make things glossier. Teflon tends to glossify things. Parchment paper tends to make things more matted, or silicone paper sort of mats things out. I prefer silicone because it's cheap, and when it gets messed up, you just throw it away. This is reusable, but oftentimes if it gets dirty or messed up, people try to still use it, and it ends up staining their shirt. Like this one I'm currently holding has an XL from like 2 weeks ago videos. So this wouldn't actually be a very good one to press. So I'm going to use the one I prefer anyways. But anytime you're doing a layer that doesn't have its carrier sheet protecting it, you want to use a silicone sheet or a Teflon sheet to protect your exposed vinyl. So again, we're going to press it. We are going to do about 8 seconds. So when it hits 4, I'm going to pull it. And we can hot peel that right away, y'all. There's our second layer, or I guess it's our first layer, our second press. It's looking good. Now let's go to our next one, which I believe is the cheese, right? The cheesy layer. So we got two here. We're going to do the yellow, the light yellow part, and then we'll do the cheese bits second because it'll be easier to line them up that way. So we were asked, the way we layer vinyl, is that always determined by thickness? I would say about 80% of the time it is. There's always going to be exceptions where sometimes it just doesn't work. But usually you want to try to always press your thicker vinyls last. So meaning glitter vinyls, flock vinyls, 3D vinyls, any of those, try to wait till the very end if you can in your design to press those. Because think about it. When you got a thinner vinyl first and then you have a thicker vinyl, then you go back to thinner, that's messing with your pressure. So your thinner vinyls from then might not stick as well. This is a hot peel, so we could peel that right away, really. This is coming along nice, y'all. So we're going to do now that cheesy layer. And the cool thing I like to do with PerfectPress Soft, I'm going to try to show that here, is if you put it down, it looks like it's not aligning right. Oftentimes with heat, vinyl does shrink a little bit. So sometimes your perfect alignments will shrink and doesn't seem to line up perfectly. But what you can do is kind of hold it and pull and pinch, like so. And you can kind of stretch it into place. Then sometimes on really long designs, it's not always the easiest. So for this one, to make it even easier, I'm going to slice it in half. Just so we can have that stretch to the very end there without making it too heavily stretched. Again, straighten this out, make sure there's not wrinkles in our shirt. And I'm just kind of pinching and stretching so it fits in the spot it needs to. Looks pretty good there. Do it with the second one. And the positive and negative is the sticky liner on PerfecPress. Positive, it makes it kind of a lot easier to weed, but at the same time, sometimes it'll stick to things and move everything at once. So it's a blessing and curse. Most of the time, it's a blessing. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to give that a press. Remember, we got to cover it. It's a little bit shaky, but wrinkly, but it'll be okay. Let's give it about 8 seconds, and it's going to be a hot peel, so we can peel that right away, y'all. And we're going to peel it. All right, so now we're going to go to our brown layer because it's our last layer of the PerfecPress Soft. So there's our brown layer. I'm going to press that one. Any comments or questions? I should have done an ogre. Because ogres have layers. Oh, that's funny. I haven't seen Shrek in years. What a great movie. And this layer here of our bean bits. Again, this is kind of like the cheese layer. It might actually be better to cut it in half, but you know what? It looks like it lined up pretty nice there. And we're giving that one a press. So that brings us to our stretch foil and our glitter, which are going to be pressed with a little bit different settings. So, let me show you what I got so far if you haven't gotten a good look. So far, this is where we're at, everybody. So, we still have our glitter layer and our green and our chives. So, we're going to first do our metallic layer because that is thinner than our glitter. Put it on your shirt. Make sure everything seems flat. Now metallic is a warm peel, meaning after I press it, I want to give it a few seconds to cool down, usually 10 before I peel it away. That will give me a much nicer finish and it won't peel up on me. Metallic foil, if you peel it too soon, can peel up on you. You can usually fix it by just pressing a second time, but to prevent that, count to 10, get some air in it, and it shouldn't peel up at all. So this layer is fun because it kind of just falls right in. Again, the shirt shrinks a little bit, so you might need to do some minor stretching. That looks pretty good, y'all. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. We're going to have it go. We're going to press it right now. We're going to pop it. We're going to give this one the full 15 seconds. Metallic foil is more finicky with heat. So if your heat is not correct or your time's not correct, it is more finicky about that. So again, we're not hot peeling it. If I hot peeled it right now, I'd probably peel some parts of it up. I want to get some air underneath it and count to 10. When I say get air underneath it, this is what I mean. Give it a pinch, move it around, get some air up in there so it can breathe. After that, like to touch it with my hand. If it feels too hot, give it more air. You want it to feel warm. If you can't just hold your hand there, it's probably too hot. So now it should be fine. Yeah, that feels fine. Look at that, y'all. And technically, the red layer is the color of the shirt, so that kind of works. But we're going to do the glitter layer there. We're going to hold it down, or put it back down. Make sure everything's nice and not that wrinkly. And we're going to take our red layer with our glitter, and we're going to place it in like so. This is our final layer. And again, everything shrinks a little bit, so you might have to do a little bit of light stretching to get it to fit right. And we're going to press this again for a full, at least 12 seconds, really 15. And then this one's a warm peel, not as long as the metallic, but you still want to give it about 5-6 seconds. There we go, y'all. Give it a little shake. There's our glitter. So look how good that is, y'all. There's 8 layers on this shirt. Looks pretty sweet. 7-layer dip t-shirt. I'm going to seal it now. Because we've done all these multiple layers, we want to do one final press to make sure everything stays down and is consistent for a full time. So you're going to cover it with your Teflon or silicone sheet and press for a full 15 seconds as a final sort of sealing press and kind of get everything on the same level of heat. You don't have to necessarily do that, but I do find it makes it last longer in the wash long term. All right, y'all. And this one's done. Woo! Okay. Oh, okay. We're going to real quick try to show you how to make an EPS design just like this from scratch. Maybe press it. But let's show how to do this. So again, that 7-layer dip file will be available to download off our YouTube page this afternoon. But let's start from scratch. Does anyone have a favorite cartoon character or anything? Please put in the comments, and maybe I can make one with that character. I want to get rid of the file that we started with. Start with a blank page. For what I'm about to do, what you will need is Graphtec Studio. You'll also probably need Adobe Illustrator to really pull it off the way that I'm about to do. So I'm opening Adobe Illustrator up. Just creating a generic page. Then I'm going to go to Google. So let's go to Chrome. Has anyone suggested anything, Allie? No cartoon characters? Well, I like Popeye's always cool. You want Johnny Bravo? Johnny Bravo. I can't even remember much about Johnny Bravo. Hey, there's Chucky Finster. Who's Chucky? Oh, from Rugrats? I think so. Chucky Rugrats. All right. I'd love to do Chucky, but we are limited on time, and he has a lot of layers. So let's go back to Johnny Bravo. He has less layer colors, so he'll be easier to quickly show y'all this technique. And you can apply this to do with Chucky. Just let's do something quick and easy to show this technique. So I'm on Google. I'm just finding an image I like on Google Images. Important thing to look for, though, is in the bottom corner here where it says the size. You want as big as possible. You can always go to Tools on Google and go to Size and click Large. That definitely does help find good quality images. That's a pretty cool one. We're going to take our Johnny Bravo, and all we're going to simply do is hit copy image. We're going to go to Illustrator, and we're going to paste that image into Illustrator. And then we're going to zoom out. So now once we're in Illustrator, we got our Johnny Bravo in here. We're going to trace him. The best thing to do is go to Window, Workspace, and click Tracing. That opens up on your side here a whole entire tracing menu. What you're going to do with that tracing menu, you're going to go and select Color. And then right here in Colors, you want to select the amount of colors you can see in your Johnny Bravo. So in our Johnny Bravo, we got a gold for his hair. We got a creamy peach for his skin. Black for his shirt and sunglasses. Looks like he's got blue highlights and blue pants. So right there's 4 colors. So we're going to try a 4-color trace. But we also got to remember in this image there's white all around him. So that counts as a 5th color. So we're going to put 5 and then we're going to hit Trace. Now Illustrator's working its magic. It's going in there. It's tracing. It's redrawn. It's trying to create a Johnny Bravo for us. And the world's most powerful trace tool is Illustrators. Like, you can buy all the cut programs in the world. Illustrator is going to way overpower them in the power that its trace tool has. So if you're doing a lot of tracing of images online, I highly recommend investing in Illustrator. It's like $19 a month from Adobe. It's worth every penny. All right, our Johnny Bravo has been traced. Now we hit this button, Expand, right here, and that will show us all the cut lines. If we scoot them over here, we can see all our new cut lines that are now available. So that looks good. Our Johnny Bravo looks real good. We're going to hit File, Save As, and we're going to save them as an EPS file. Now there is software that can cut right through Illustrator, but today we're going to just show how you would do it if you don't have that. And we're going to call him Johnny. We'll save. We'll hit OK. And we're going to go to our Graphtec Studio Pro software. We're going to drag and drop that new Johnny. Where did I save him? There he is. Into Graphtec Studio Pro. And just like we did with the 7-layer dip shirt, we're going to pre-size him. So for a man's shirt, we're going to probably go 8.5. Because I think we're working with another medium. And then we're going to send him to cut. Oh, I hit the wrong button. We're going to send him to cut. And because we created an Illustrator, watch y'all, it has already separated out all those layers for us wonderfully. Makes it so easy. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with our black layer. We got some black vinyl left over from the last one. So we're going to send our black layer to cut. We're going to double check our size, make sure we like where it's at. It is at 6.5 by 8.5 once the white layer was removed. I want him a little bigger. So I'm going to hit done. Let's make him 11. Whoa. Yeah, I like that. Again, I like to make my weeding border just a little bit bigger. That's the cool thing about Graphtec software. You have those automatic weeding borders put in. We're going to send him to cut. So, put our black vinyl in. We're at a force of 12, speed of 40. What? Oh, I already got them. I got a variety. I bought one of each. And we're going to send him to cut. Go, Mr. Bravo. So our next color is going to be his hair, which is kind of golden. I got PerfecPress Soft Gold. So I'm not going to use the metallic gold. This is just normal gold. We got his skin. So I'm going to use, what's this color called? PerfecPress Soft Cream is going to be his skin. And for the blue, I'll use PerfecPress Soft Blue. Excuse me, y'all. So, all this cuts, I'll tell you a little bit about my life. Been exercising all winter. I've been starting to get out my shorts for the year. Guess what? None of them are fitting me very well. I need to buy more belts. It's a good thing and a bad thing. These shorts are being wild. Want more 7-layer dip. So I'm again making the hair a little bigger before I send that out. So our black is done. We will peel that out. Let's stick our gold in for his hair. Graphtec makes it so easy to do shirts like this. Graphtec and Illustrator combined, you can do amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing stuff. See, that's already done cutting, and I barely even finished weeding this. Yeah. All right, he's got all this inner parts we got to peel out. Y'all see me okay? I don't mean to block. Any questions or anything while I work on Mr. Bravo? So it's important when you're deciding to trace your designs and what shirts you're doing to keep in mind how many colors it's going to want to do as layers. You know, when shirts are 3 to 4 layers, they're doable and they're affordable to make. But when you get past that, you got to really keep in mind the cost of each layer. Because when you add in more layers, it adds in more cost to your design. Some folks get themselves in trouble by telling folks, I can do whatever you want. And they end up doing a shirt that's like 7, 8, 9, 10 plus layers. And you can pull it off and it'll look good. But cost-wise, that becomes a very expensive shirt. Sometimes customers are very hard to, especially if you're in the t-shirt making business, to express that it costs money to add more colors. Sometimes they really have a hard time wrapping their head around that. So I'm working on our Bravo. He's almost done. Was Bravo the one who went, hoo-ah? Here's 6 layer. So here's our Johnny Bravo black layer. Our gold layer is cut. We're going to send the creamy layer. I don't know if Johnny Bravo would exist nowadays. He was a dirty man. He was a fun cartoon. I had a friend's dad when I was growing up who worked for Turner, and he was an editor up there, and he used to edit videos of the old Cartoon Network shows. So he told us that there was all sorts of really funny outtakes and dirty versions of a lot of the Cartoon Network cartoons. We even saw once an Ed, and Eddie that was just kind of wild. They should bring them, find the old files and, yeah, Adult Swim show or something. That'd be pretty fun. So our gold layer, real quick and easy to peel out. Y'all, don't be intimidated by layering. All the time I get people come into our store and go, look around and see all our demo shirts that we've done with all the crazy layers, and they say, I have no idea how to do that. I don't know where to begin. I get so overwhelmed. Don't be afraid of it. They won't bite you. It is a easy concept. Y'all can all make incredible shirts with the right tools. not going to lie and say you can easily do this in a Cricut. This would be much harder to do in like a Cricut. But with a Graphtec, super easy to do. Our cream layer, and again, it's peeling out so easy. If you are struggling with weeding, your cut settings are not correct. It's on any vinyl. If you're sitting there and you're having a real hard time weeding it, and it's not just because it's small, it's giving you a challenge, that's usually always means something in your settings is not right. And no, vinyl is not defective. It's extremely, extremely rare. It's the vinyl's reason why it's not weeding. Ooh, yeah, Johnny Bravo. I'm just trying to line them up. It's looking good, y'all. Now we just got his blue layer, and we are done with this from scratch design. And we're hitting send. Let me cut out him. Yeah. And that's it for the software side, y'all. So now we just peel this out and we got to press them and we're good. So our blue layers. And here, our Johnny Bravo's ready to press, y'all. Did you all see how easy that was? That didn't make layering seem scary, did it? So easy. So let's get this shirt made. We got our white Gildan our Fruit of the Loom HD cotton. Wow. Mixing it up in the t-shirts. So this is a 100% cotton t-shirt. Doesn't mean we're going to change nothing. We're going to still press at all the same time and temperatures. We're going to give it a little bit of a press to get some of those wrinkles out, y'all. And now we're going to start with our black layer. Again, you're going to start with from the collar, 3 finger links down. Hello, Mr. Bravo. Because it's the first layer and nothing's exposed, we don't have to cover it and we can press them 300 degrees for at least 8 seconds. There we go. And our first layer's on. Now we do our second layer with the sweet, sweet hair. I recently lost all my hair recently in a terrible hair cutting accident. I miss it. Going to cover him because he has parts exposed. Again, he had some slight shrinkage. So we can do two things. Either we can try to stretch them or we can cut out each part. So I'm going to, for sake of making it look real good, I'm going to cut out each part so we get a little more control. This is the new PerfecPress 5-in-1 heat press. Just came out about 2 weeks ago. It's a fantastic heat press, great for beginners. Good all-around heat press. Really affordable at $3.99 or $4.99. Sorry. There's his arms.
That's the 5-in-1, right?
Yes. Great. And our final blue layer, y'all. Sweet.
Somebody asked if we can do a later video.
That's what this is. Oh. Oh, you guys can't hear Ale, but she just made a joke telling me that someone asked if we could do a layering video, which that's what this video was. We have been asked that before, though. In the middle of a video, someone has asked, can you make a video of what we're literally doing? All right, everything looks good. We're going to give this a press. Because this is our final layer, we're going to just do a full 15-second press on this instead of pulling out 4. And it's a hot peel, so we can get rid of that right away. And y'all, we're done. Look how cool our Johnny Bravo is. Look good to y'all? Y'all. So that's how to layer with the Graphtec and using Adobe Illustrator to create designs. Again, I'm going to post that taco design. I'll probably post this Johnny Bravo as well on our YouTube upload this afternoon. I hope everyone has a great day. If you have any questions, feel free to message or email me, and I will be happy to answer for y'all. Check in next week. We're going to be doing basics on print cut with the Graphtec. So we're going to be showing how to print cut with the Graphtec next week. Tune in, y'all. You have a wonderful night.